Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India NewsHour, India's voice to the world. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Coming up in the next hour. India to host 4th edition of Semicon conference today. Prime Minister Modi to inaugurate the 3-day flagship Semiconductor event in New Delhi. Rescue efforts intensify after over 800 people killed in quake hit Afghanistan. Humanitarian aid pouring in. India first to respond. Venezuelan President Maduro warns US over naval build-up in the southern Caribbean and nearby waters, says will never bow to threats. Serbia protests hit 10-month mark as unrest continues, demanding snap elections over station roof collapse. And Team India secures a dominant win 15-0 over Kazakhstan in Men's Hockey Asia Cup. Finished the league stage at the top of the points table in Pool A. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate the 4th edition of Semicon India 2025 on September 2nd at Yashobhoomi, New Delhi. The flagship event reinforces India's ambition to emerge as a global semiconductor hub. DD India's Tapas Bhattacharya reports.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate the 4th edition of the Semicon India 2025 on September 2nd at Yashobhoomi, Delhi. The flagship event reaffirms India's ambition to become a global semiconductor powerhouse. Semicon India 2025 will bring together top global leaders, industry experts, academia, government officials and students under the theme Building the Next Semiconductor Powerhouse.
We understand that more than 350 companies are taking part, and there are going to be extensive displays. The entire hall has been occupied. In fact, they've had to turn away some of the possible participants in the expo. And in addition, I think there has been significant enthusiasm for the various sessions which are being held alongside in the SEMI event.
India's semiconductor journey has gained momentum under the Semicon India program. So far, the government has approved 10 key projects, including fabrication units, 3D packaging, compound semiconductors, and assembly facilities. These initiatives are strengthening India's position in the global value chain.
It's a matter of pride that this year the first semiconductor chips commercially built in the country are to be rolled out.
To promote innovation, over 280 institutes and 72 startups now have access to advanced chip design tools. 23 startups have been approved under the Design-Linked Incentive Scheme, working on chips for CCTV, navigation system, communication, motor controllers and microprocessors. With the 4th edition of the Semicon India, the country is taking strong step of becoming self-reliant and moving closer of becoming a global semiconductor hub. With Campus and Monty, this is Tapas Bhattacharya for DD India from Delhi.
All right, DD India's Akshay Dongre joins us for more on this from Delhi. Akshay, PM Modi to inaugurate Semicon India 2025 4th edition. Tell us, why is this edition of Semicon India being seen as so significant?
Well, Abhishek, we have seen that there has been disruptions to the global semiconductor supply chain in the last few years. And where the countries in the Southeast Asia have failed, or in other countries of Asia where the semiconductor manufacturing, from manufacturing to providing them to selling them, the entire supply chain was not robust enough. India can play a role as far as becoming that, filling that gap of reliability as far as the supply chain is concerned. So, the world heavily relies on semiconductors. We have seen the situation where due to the shortage of semiconductors, the manufacturing of cars also slowed down, the manufacturing of several other products slowed down. The semiconductor right now is the core, or rather the soul of electronic systems. And we have seen that it's not just the high-tech gadgets like smartphones or smart televisions, but even the basic electronic items have semiconductors nowadays. The smaller ones are probably not that efficient. However, quite significant role is being played by the entire semiconductor industry. In this 21st century, especially when we are standing at the cusp of the first quarter of the century, semiconductors are going to be the building blocks for the future generations, for the civilizations of the future. The world now fully realizes the importance of semiconductors, and that perhaps is the reason why so much of a push is also being given by the government of India as far as the mission semiconductor is concerned.
All right, Akshay, India has transformed its semiconductor journey from vision to reality. Why is this edition of Semicon India particularly important for India's tech and manufacturing roadmap?
Well, it seems because we are at a point in time where India is very, very seriously looking to have a very fierce push towards self-reliance in every aspect. If there is a global turmoil in major the parts of the world where semiconductors are usually made, then it can hamper our growth quite significantly. Besides our growth, India also wants to become, or rather place itself as a reliable source of semiconductors for the rest of the world. We have seen that our leadership has been calling for the world to manufacture in India, world to come here, invest in India, manufacture for the world. We saw when Prime Minister visited Singapore, when he visited Japan, when he visited other countries, his focus has when it comes to the home front, his focus has been establishing India as a major manufacturing hub. That has always been there, but now even more so. Semiconductors is something that can, in fact, be the core of core at writing India's growth journey, India's journey of becoming a reliable manufacturer of advanced equipment as well.
All right, Akshay, we'll leave it at that. Thank you for getting us inputs on that story. Moving on, with an aim to strengthen entrepreneurship development among rural women and accelerate the growth of community-led enterprises, Prime Minister Modi will launch Bihar Rajya Jivika Nidhi Sak Sehkari Sangh Limited at 12:30 p.m. IST via video conferencing. On the occasion, Prime Minister will also transfer Rs 105 crore into the institution's bank account. The objective of establishing the Jivika Nidhi is to provide easy access to funds at affordable interest rates to community members associated with Jivika. Entrepreneurship has flourished among women associated with Jivika's self-help groups over the years, leading to the establishment of numerous small enterprises and producer companies in rural areas. However, women entrepreneurs have often been compelled to depend on microfinance institutions charging high interest rates of 18 to 24%. The system will operate entirely on a digital platform, ensuring faster and more transparent fund transfers directly into the bank accounts of Jivika Didis. To facilitate this, 12,000 community cadres are being equipped with tablets. Around 20 lakh women from across the state of Bihar will witness this event. Shifting focus, Singapore Prime Minister Lawrence Wong will be on a 3-day visit to India from today, with a slew of MOUs slated to be signed between the two countries during his visit. According to sources, MOUs are expected to focus on skill development, finance and digital revolution, civil aviation, space collaboration and shipping. During the visit, the Singapore Prime Minister will have a bilateral meeting with his Indian counterpart, Prime Minister Modi. Lawrence Wong's visit to India follows Prime Minister Modi's visit to Singapore last year in September 2024, during which the two leaders reviewed and expressed satisfaction with the progress in the bilateral relationship. And German Foreign Minister Johann Wadephul arrived in India's IT capital Bengaluru this morning. During his 2-day visit, he will meet with both political and business leaders to explore further avenues for bilateral cooperation. In Bengaluru, he will visit the Indian Space Research Organization before leaving for Delhi later in the day. On Wednesday, FM Vodafone is expected to meet Minister of Commerce and Industry Piyush Goyal, followed by a meeting with External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar in Delhi. Germany is one of India's most valued partners in Europe. The two countries share a strong strategic partnership which has grown steadily over the decades since the establishment of diplomatic relations in 1951. In March 2021, both sides marked 70 years of diplomatic ties. An Indian Army contingent has reached Fort Wainwright in US's Alaska for the 21st edition of Yudh Abhyas 2025. The annual India-US joint military drill running from September 1st to 14th alongside US 11th Airborne Division troops. Troops will train in heli-borne operations, mountain warfare, unmanned aircraft system and counter UAS and joint tactical drills and multi-domain readiness. The Defence Ministry added the drill will conclude with joint tactical maneuvers including live-fire exercises and high-altitude warfare scenarios aimed at enhancing UN peacekeeping capabilities and multi-domain readiness. Time now for a very short break, but still to come on this edition of DD India NewsHour. Guyana awaits results after high-stakes election amid oil wealth disputes and past tensions. Jair Bolsonaro faces final phase of coup trial amid explosive allegations and global scrutiny. And Paris Middle School cracks down on phones to prioritize learning and friendship.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the economic brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India NewsHour. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. A humanitarian crisis is unfolding in Afghanistan, where a devastating earthquake claimed over 800 lives and left thousands injured on Monday. Villages lie in ruins and survivors are pleading for urgent help. As rescue efforts intensify, India has stepped forward with swift and substantial aid, reaffirming its commitment to regional solidarity under its Neighbourhood First policy. DD India's Rahul Upadhyay brings us more.
Rescue operation is underway in Afghanistan after a powerful 6.0 magnitude earthquake struck just before midnight, collapsing homes onto sleeping families in the remote mountainous Kunar province in the eastern part of the country. A Taliban government on Monday said that the death toll has surpassed 800 with thousands injured. The tremors were felt as far as Kabul and Islamabad, and the US Geological Survey reports at least 5 aftershocks throughout the night.
We have a report of 800 killed in Kunar. 2,500 people have been injured. The affected areas are Nurgal district, Swakia district, Batapur district, Manogi district, Chapadar district and other regions. The team have reached the Mazadar village in Nurgal district, but the details of rescue operation have not been shared with us yet. They could increase the toll.
In the aftermath, scenes of devastation are emerging from villages like Mazar Dana in Nurgal district. Survivors, many of them children and elderly, remain trapped beneath the rubble.
This is Mazar Dara in Nurgal district. The entire village was destroyed. Children and elders are trapped under the rubble. We need urgent help. Our children, women, elders and the dead remain buried beneath the debris.
India was amongst the first to respond. Prime Minister Narendra Modi expressed deep condolence and sorrow over the tragedy, stating, "Deeply saddened by the loss of lives due to earthquake in Afghanistan. Our thoughts and prayers are with the bereaved families in this difficult hour, and we wish a speedy recovery to the injured. India stands ready to provide all possible humanitarian aid and relief to those affected. Under its Neighborhood First policy, India was quick to dispatch 1,000 family tents to Kabul to provide emergency shelter. Additionally, 15 tons of food supplies are being transported by the Indian mission from Kabul to the severely affected Kunar province. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar spoke with Afghan Foreign Minister Maulvi Amir Khan Muttaqi, reaffirming India's solidarity and pledging further assistance. As Afghanistan reels from one of its deadliest natural disasters in recent years, India's timely support underscores its enduring commitment to regional cooperation and humanitarian values. Rahul Upadhyay's report for DD India.
Britain too has set out emergency funding support for those affected by earthquake in Afghanistan. Britain's $1.35 million assistance will be split between the UN Population Fund and the International Red Cross to deliver critical healthcare and emergency supplies to Afghans in the most affected regions. By channeling it through its partners, the UK government aims to ensure that the aid reach those in need instead of Taliban administration. Foreign Minister David Lammy in a statement said the UK remains committed to the people of Afghanistan, and this emergency funding will help our partners to deliver critical healthcare and emergency supplies to the most hard hit. Now, tensions between the United States and Venezuela have escalated in recent weeks due to a significant US naval buildup in the southern Caribbean and surrounding waters. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro accused the US of using its naval deployment in the Caribbean to pursue regime change, while Venezuelan officials claim the buildup is a threat intended to justify potential intervention.
Humano, si tú le preguntaras a Nico, o sea, a mí, Nico, ¿qué mensaje le mandas tú al señor Donald Trump, que es presidente de Estados Unidos? Que busque la paz y en nosotros conseguirá siempre una mano amiga para la paz, con desarrollo, con independencia, con dignidad y respetando, no buscando un cambio de régimen. Presidente Donald Trump, la búsqueda de cambios de régimen está agotado y está fracasado como política en el mundo.
US officials stated that the operation targets threats from Latin American drug cartels, aligning with President Trump's broader agenda to combat drug trafficking, curb migration and strengthen border security. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker criticized the Trump administration for failing to coordinate with state officials over the possible deployment of federal troops. Governor Pritzker said there had been no effort by the administration to consult Illinois leadership and officials. The governor warned that sending troops without state approval would amount to an invasion, while also noting that any such action would likely face immediate legal challenges.
No one in the administration, the president or anybody under him, has called anyone in my administration and me, have not called the city of Chicago or anyone else. So it's clear that in secret they're planning this, well, it's an invasion with US troops if they in fact do that. We hope that they don't send any troops along with ICE. And if they do, they'll be in court pretty quickly because that is illegal.
Now, Brazil's former President Jair Bolsonaro, facing charges of plotting a coup to retain power after losing 2022 election, is set to begin closing arguments on Tuesday. Bolsonaro faces accusations of plotting to poison President Lula, his running mate, and assassinate Supreme Court Justice Alexander de Moraes, who oversaw the 2022 election and now leads the coup case. The trial has gained international attention, with US President Donald Trump denouncing it as a witch hunt. Bolsonaro has denied making any attempt to overthrow Brazil's democracy, but admits attending meetings to challenge 2022 election and is under house arrest in Brasilia. Around 20 supporters of Bolsonaro, including his sons Carlos and Renan, held a prayer vigil outside his residence in Brasilia on Monday. Attendees were seen holding banners, praying, and some were visibly emotional, hoping for divine intervention. Now, tens of thousands of anti-government protesters marched again in Serbia, with shielded riot police guarding the Belgrade headquarters of Serbia's President Alexander Vučić, who has threatened a major crackdown against those protesting his populist rule. The protests, led by high school and university students, marked 10 months since a concrete canopy collapsed at a train station in Serbia's northern town of Novi Sad, killing 16 people. The disaster ignited a wave of public outrage, with state corruption and negligence cited as a major cause. The protests Monday were held in the capital Belgrade and several other towns in Serbia. Now let's understand what are protesters demanding. Anti-government protests started in November after a renovated rail station canopy in the northern city of Novi Sad collapsed, killing 16 people. Many in Serbia blame the tragedy on corruption-fueled negligence in state infrastructure projects. Following the disaster, Vučić and his Serbian Progressive Party stayed in power with a reshuffled administration. The student-led protests have since focused their demands on the need for snap elections instead of regular elections planned for 2027. In June, organizers had issued an ultimatum for Vučić to announce a new vote, a demand he rejected. Protesters are also stressing the need to ensure that elections are free and fair through several reforms, including a review of voter records, equal access to media for all participants in political life, and measures to prevent vote buying. Other requests also include reforming the education system, recognizing student bodies known as plenums as legal entities, ensure fair wages for all education sector workers, and respecting the autonomy of universities. While Serbia is formally seeking European Union entry, and Vučić maintains a pro-European stance. Indonesia is witnessing its worst wave of violent protests with over 7 killed in clashes. Military and police have been deployed at key areas. Taking a U-turn, President Prabowo announces cuts on lawmakers' perks.
Thousands of Indonesians took to the streets on Monday in a nationwide protest, angry over lavish perks for lawmakers. In Jakarta, at least 500 demonstrators gathered outside the parliament. The protests, which began last week, were triggered after reports revealed that 580 parliamentarians received a monthly housing allowance of $3,000 in addition to their salaries. The allowance is almost 10 times the Jakarta minimum wage and about 20 times the average monthly minimum wage in poor areas of the country. While demonstrations started peacefully, tensions escalated on Thursday when an armed police vehicle struck and it killed a motorcycle taxi driver.
The reason Bihar is still protesting on the streets is that President Prabowo's Sunday statement in his press conference did not accommodate demands from students and civil society.
There has never been a firm statement that the government would do a total evaluation of the police. Besides that, there is too much involvement of the military in the demonstrations. We don't want civilian spaces to be infiltrated by the military, as we fear there could be a martial law.
The unrest has forced President Prabowo Subianto to cancel his trip to China and roll back the proposed incentives. On Sunday, he announced that political parties had agreed to reduce the perks, but at the same time ordered strict actions against Reuters after homes of political leaders, including the finance minister, were looted and state buildings were set ablaze.
We cannot deny that there are signs of actions outside the law, even against the law, even leaning towards creation and terrorism. I instruct National Police and Indonesian military to take strenuous action against the destruction of public facilities, looting of private houses and economic centers based on applicable laws.
Hundreds of soldiers have been deployed now at key locations in Jakarta, including the Presidential Palace and the National Monument. Schools and universities in the capital have shifted to online classes, while civil servants have been asked to work from home. Mounting frustrations over economic hardship and controversial policies is fueling the anger, posing the most serious challenge yet to President Sabiento since taking office last October. With agency inputs, Tripti Tripathi report for DD India.
And polls have closed in Guyana's general election, where voters cast ballots on Monday to choose 65 members of parliament and a president. The Election Commission plans to deliver results by Wednesday. President Irfan Ali, in office since 2020, is seeking re-election representing the People's Progressive Party. Before the election, no transparent polling was available, but PPP supporters were hopeful of retaining power. Meanwhile, opposition parties gained support by criticizing the PPP for allegedly unfairly distributing oil earnings. Guyana's 2020 election was marred by a 5-month standoff over vote counting. And union workers in Canada gathered in Toronto for a Labour Day parade on Monday, highlighting the challenges faced by unions. Hundreds gathered with their local unions to carry signs supporting unions and union workers. They stated that the tariffs are affecting workers, causing significant stress. Unifor, a council that supports union activities, called this year's parade a powerful call to action, emphasizing the demand for real solutions that prioritize workers and their families. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney announced plans to lift many retaliatory tariffs on US goods and step up negotiations for a new trade and security deal, though both countries remain far from an agreement. In Chicago, hundreds marched in downtown on Monday under the banner Workers Over Billionaires, denouncing President Donald Trump's planned crime and immigration crackdowns and cuts to social programs. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson joined union leaders at the start of the protest. Johnson told the crowd there would be no federal troops or militarized force in Chicago. He signed an executive order directing city police not to assist National Guard or other federal operations. The rally followed a week in which Trump and senior officials said Chicago could soon be targeted for new crackdowns. Last month, Trump launched an aggressive public safety push in Washington, D.C., deploying National Guard troops, flooding streets with federal officers and federalizing the city's police. Now in Bangladesh, tension continues to prevail in several universities across the country following recent clashes between student groups and growing unrest on campuses. On Monday, the Chittagong University campus and surrounding areas remained highly charged following Sunday's sporadic clashes between students and locals, which left more than 300 teachers, students, police officers and journalists injured. While 3 students fighting for life, large contingents of army and police personnel remain deployed across the campus, patrolling to prevent further unrest. Meanwhile, train services between Dhaka and Mymensingh were disrupted on Monday as students of Bangladesh Agricultural University blocked the railway line near Mymensingh. According to local reports, students staged the blockade to press for their demands related to academic and administrative issues. Earlier on Sunday, a group of Dhaka University teachers expressed grave concern over the law and order situation and attacks on freedom of expression. The government of Nepal has announced that embossed number plates will be mandatory for all registered vehicles starting September 17 this year. With revival of this long pending plan, transport offices will only provide services like vehicle registration, ownership transfer and renewal to vehicles fitted with these plates. The embossed plates are mandatory, but there will be no immediate fines for vehicle owners who have not yet installed them by the deadline. The government's decision to enforce the embossed number plate system is facing widespread opposition from the public and various stakeholders due to high price and use of English script on plates instead of the Devanagari script, which is the national script of Nepal. A petition was even filed in the Supreme Court to mandate Devanagari script, but the court ruled that using English was not a violation of the Constitution. Let's now take a look at other stories making news around the world. A refrigeration technician in Maracaibo, Venezuela has been transforming discarded materials into sculptures of animals and movie characters in fact, to raise awareness about recycling in his community. His open-air gallery outside his home features sculptures of movie characters such as Minions and Transformers, as well as animals like bees and ants. In an age where mobile use is the norm, Madame de Staël Middle School in Paris has launched a timely initiative by tightening phone rules. The move encourages students to focus on learning and building friendships. As 12 million French people return after the holidays, the school's head insists classrooms must be distraction-free. While some students feel conflicted, the message is clear. School is for growing minds, not scrolling screens. Still to come on this edition of DD India NewsHour. India positions itself as global semiconductor powerhouse with backing from tech giants like ASML. PM Modi urges united global front against terrorism at SCO summit. Tianjin declaration echoes India's stand. And we'll get you weather updates from around the country as Met Department issues various warnings. Welcome back. You're watching DD India NewsHour. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Some more stories. India is making bold moves to become a global hub for semiconductors with government support, new chip fabs and growing international interest. At Semicon India in New Delhi, some of the world's leading technology players, including Dutch giant ASML, are taking notice. Our correspondent Mark Limburg has more from the Netherlands.
India is on its way to becoming a true global powerhouse in semiconductors. With massive government support, new factories under construction and international attention growing every day, the country is positioning itself at the very heart of the global chip industry. At Semicon India, India's premier semiconductor conference in New Delhi, leading companies from around the world, like Dutch technology giant ASML, have come to witness this rise and explore how they can be part of India's semiconductor story. India's ambitions are drawing attention worldwide. Market research shows that India's semiconductor sector could reach $55 billion by 2026, fueled by demand for smartphones, cars and data centers. As ASML told us, India is positioning itself as a strategic market in the global chip ecosystem. For India, having ASML here matters. The Dutch company is the only one in the world that makes the extreme ultraviolet lithography machines needed to build the most advanced microchips. These are the chips that drive artificial intelligence, electric mobility and the digital economy. ASML explains, together with our partners, we drive the advancement of more affordable, more powerful, more energy efficient microchips. That is why Semicon India 2025 is such an important platform. For ASML, this first appearance is about connecting with India's ecosystem and looking at long-term opportunities. As the company put it, Semicon India is the perfect platform to connect, collaborate and explore how to contribute to India's exciting growth. As India's semiconductor ambitions continue to take shape, the strong presence of international players like ASML underlines the world's confidence in India's future. From New Delhi to the global stage, India is no longer just participating in the chip race, it is setting the pace. Mark Limburg reporting from the Netherlands for DD India.
And Prime Minister Modi has called for global unity to fight against terrorism. Delivering his statement at the SCO summit in Tianjin, the Indian Prime Minister termed terrorism a huge challenge for humanity, adding terrorism in all its forms should be condemned. He stressed that double standard on terrorism is unacceptable. In what is being seen as a major diplomatic success for India, the Tianjin Declaration echoed PM Modi's message on terrorism.
The Shanghai Cooperation Organization, at its 25th summit in Tianjin, strongly condemned the terrorist attack in Pahalgam, Jammu and Kashmir, demanding that those responsible be held accountable. The Tianjin Declaration emphasized on zero-tolerance policy towards terrorism without any double standards. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, addressing the summit, articulated India's focus on three pillars under the SCO framework, namely security, connectivity, and opportunity. PM Modi stressed on the importance of coordinated action against terrorism, including terror financing and radicalization, and expressed gratitude for the solidarity shown by member states following the Pahalgam attack. He urged the SCO to hold accountable all countries that perpetrate or support cross-border terrorism.
भारत पिछले 4 दशकों निर्मम आतंकवाद का दंश झेल रहा। कितनी ही माताओं ने अपने बच्चे खोए और कितने बच्चे अनाथ हो गए। हाल ही में हमने पहलगाम में टेररिज्म का बहुत ही घिनौना रूप देखा। हमें स्पष्ट रूप से और एक स्वर में कहना होगा कि आतंकवाद पर कोई भी डबल स्टैंडर्ड स्वीकार्य नहीं है। हमें मिलकर आतंकवाद का हर रंग में, हर रूप में विरोध करना, ये मानवता के प्रति हमारा दायित्व है।
On connectivity, PM Modi reaffirmed India's strong support for regional projects such as the Chabahar port and the international North-South transport corridor, which are vital for economic development and building mutual trust. He also proposed launching a civilizational dialogue forum to foster greater people-to-people ties and cultural understanding among SCO members.
हम चाबहार पोर्ट और इंटरनेशनल नॉर्थ साउथ ट्रांसपोर्ट कॉरिडोर जैसे इनिशिएटिव पर काम कर रहे हैं। इनसे हम अफगानिस्तान और मध्य एशिया के साथ संपर्क बढ़ा सकते हैं। हमारा मानना है कि कनेक्टिविटी के हर प्रयास संप्रभुता और क्षेत्रीय अखंडता का सम्मान होना चाहिए। यही एससीओ चार्टर के मूल सिद्धांतों में भी विदित है।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi also emphasized the importance of reforming multilateral institutions like the United Nations to better address current global challenges. Economically, the Tianjin Declaration took a strong stance against unilateral economic coercive measures, condemning their violation of international law and WTO rules. The declaration addressed concerns over the adverse impacts on global food and energy security, the global economy, and sustainable development. This reflected India's position amid challenges such as US-imposed tariffs affecting its trade. SCO members committed to enhancing trade cooperation, simplifying travel procedures, and strengthening economic ties to counteract protectionism and sanctions. They agreed on advancing development cooperation, energy partnership, and solidarity to navigate geopolitical tensions affecting global markets. Bureau Report, DD India.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister of Nepal, KP Sharma Oli, also addressed several bilateral meetings with different world leaders on the sidelines of the SCO summit. A bilateral meeting in Tianjin, China, took place between Oli and the President of the Republic of Maldives, Dr. Mohammad Muizzu. Oli also had bilateral meetings with Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Cambodia, President of the Lao People's Democratic Republic, Prime Minister of the Socialist Republic of Vietnam. The leaders discussed matters of mutual interest, including further strengthening friendly relations between the countries and expanding cooperation in areas such as trade and investment, science and technology, innovation, digitalization, climate change, sports, education, culture, as well as air connectivity. Now, the India Met Department has forecast heavy to very heavy rainfall at isolated places over Himachal Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand today. Red alert has been issued for Himachal and Uttarakhand, while orange alert has been issued in Delhi, Chandigarh, Haryana, East Rajasthan, Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh, Punjab, West Bengal and Odisha. Continuous heavy rains over the past 2 days have triggered landslides and house collapses in several parts of 2 hill states. In view of the rising water levels, the administration has urged people living near riverbanks, to exercise caution. Meanwhile, efforts are ongoing to clear roads blocked by rain and landslides in the hilly areas of the state. In light of the warning, Uttarakhand Chief Minister has directed district level officials to remain extra vigilant and stay on 24/7 alert. While Jammu and Kashmir also remain in the grip of incessant rain causing landslides in hilly areas, all schools in Jammu division of J&K will remain shut on 2nd September in the wake of adverse weather advisory on Monday. The Met Department has forecast generally cloudy weather on September 2nd and 3rd with 1 or 2 spells of light to moderate rain, thunder at many places with a possibility of heavy to very heavy rains over Kathua, Jammu, Udhampur and Riyasi and moderate to very heavy rainfall in Doda, Ramband, Rajouri, Poonch, Kishtwar, Samba, Anantnag and Kulgam. The Jammu-Srinagar highway was again closed for traffic. Northern Indian state of Punjab is in the grip of flood fury that has claimed 29 lives and 3 persons are missing since August 1st till date. The floods have affected more than 94,000 hectares of crop area in the state. PM Modi has spoken to Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann and assured all help in dealing with the flood situation. All right, we'll go across to Jammu now. DD India's Ankush Sharma joins us to get us the latest from there. Ankush, what is the current weather situation there in Jammu particularly and what's the forecast?
Abhishek, the day has begun in Jammu with intense rain and spell of rain this morning, and this morning witnessed many districts of Jammu region heavy rainfall, and according to Meteorology Department, Samba, Kathua and a few other districts of Jammu region has predicted intense rain in these particular districts. Meanwhile, in Ramban, Riyasi, Udhampur and Rajouri, there also can be rain, moderate to heavy rain may occur in these districts as well. Meanwhile, Home Minister Amit Shah yesterday was in Jammu. He inspects the 4th Tavi Bridge also. He assured Jammu and Kashmir people to all the relief which can be provided by the government, and he also chaired a meeting in which he discussed how to tackle this situation in Jammu right now. Meanwhile, according to Meteorology Department, today is the last day when the heavy to moderate to heavy rainfall may occurred in many places of Jammu division. After this, Meteorology Department will review and will indicate what will happen in Jammu next. On the other side, schools, all the private and government schools will remain closed today as well as a precautionary measure. More than 6,000 people evacuated and rescued till now by the administration. Administration urged people to stay away from water bodies and avoid to go outside if you don't have any specific reason behind. So right now in Jammu, the situation is very crucial. Today is the day which should be observed because from the morning here, intense rainfall is happening and people are still afraid of what will happen next.
Yeah. Advisories, you are saying, have been issued and schools also have been advised to remain closed. Ankush, how are essential services like electricity and water supply holding up in the affected regions?
Electricity and water supplies is not yet fully restored in the region. If I want to mention here, the electricity is restored in the region, but water crisis is still there. Authorities and Municipal Corporation of Jammu asked people to call them. They have issued several numbers, toll-free numbers, where people can call and ask for the water supply. But unfortunately, many people, many houses in Jammu region still not getting the proper water supplies, which is a serious concern for the residents right now. But administration is working tirelessly 24/7 to provide the essential help to the people of Jammu region. Meanwhile, the administration is also supporting people to provide clothes, water, and essential services to them, like food. So the local people of Jammu also at this time stands with the people who were affected in this circumstances, and people are advised to stay indoors and don't rush without having any specific reason. So advisory is there, but today is the day we should be observe what will happen. And as I said, from this morning, the intense rain is there, and the rain is still continued.
All right, so orange alert has been issued in Jammu region. But before we leave you, Ankush, what updates are you getting from the local administration and disaster management authorities? And is there any warning or advisory issued for residents in low-lying areas or hilly areas?
Yes, we have some advisories here by the administration and Jammu and Kashmir government. People have urged not to go nearby the water bodies, and also the low-lying areas. Administration have asked them to vacate the places, and as I mentioned, more than 6,000 people have been evacuated till now, and they have moved to the safe zones. And till the weather improves, they will get all the essential services by the administration. And administration and Jammu and Kashmir government is working 24/7 to provide essential help to the affected families.
All right, Ankush, we'll leave it at that. Thank you for getting us the latest from Jammu. Still to come on this edition of DD India NewsHour. Australian quick Mitchell Starc announces retirement from T20Is. We'll tell you the reason why. Naomi Osaka stuns Coco Gauff in New York as Iga Swiatek and Alex de Minaur cruise into quarterfinals. And stay with us as we'll show you a tradition with a twist as a giant snake paraded in Japan's Niigata festival.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India NewsHour. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Business updates now. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum delivered her first State of the Union address on Monday, emphasizing mutual respect and cooperation with the United States. Sheinbaum highlighted Mexico's position as the country with the lowest average tariff rate worldwide and underscored ongoing dialogue with U.S. agencies to navigate new tariff policies. The president also announced the visit by the U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio to establish a security cooperation framework. According to Sheinbaum, the foundation of this agreement will be cooperation without subordination. The address comes as Mexico seeks to balance its economic and security ties with the United States, its largest trading partner, amid shifting global trade dynamics. Sports updates now. We'll start with hockey. In Men's Hockey Asia Cup, Team India defeated Kazakhstan in a convincing fashion in their final Pool A game in Rajgir, Bihar. India won by a dominant scoreline of 15-0 with as many as 3 players scoring a hat-trick. Abhishek, Sukhjit Singh and Jugraj Singh scored hat-tricks, while captain Harmanpreet Singh, Amit Rohidas, Sanjay, Dilpreet Singh scored 1 goal each. India finished the league stage at the top of the points table in Pool A with 9 points from 3 games. Top 2 teams from both the pools advanced to the Super Fours. India and China have qualified from Pool A, while Korea and Malaysia have qualified from Pool B.
I think it was exactly what we needed. Just build some confidence up front and The front six did really well. A lot of guys scored goals, so it was nice. It's a difficult game because we've already got through, on the first two games. But I'm glad we got no injuries. But guys are feeling good about the game and come away with some nice moves.
I think ये हम बात भी करके आए थे कि जो स्टार्ट रहेगा मेक श्योर कि हम अच्छा करें जो भी अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलती है ऐसे हम टीम गोल करें ओपोनेंट्स की टीम है जो हमारे फॉरवर्ड्स का कनेक्शन था वो देखने को मिला है आज सो आई थिंक बहुत अच्छा खेलें.
All right, updates from the US Open round of 16 now. Naomi Osaka produced a stunning performance to eliminate home favourite Coco Gauff in the last 16 stage. The Japanese star powered past third seed Gauff 6-3, 6-2 in a highly anticipated showdown in New York. Osaka will play 11th seed Karolina Muchova in Wednesday's quarterfinals. In other women's singles action, Iga Swiatek brushed off Ekaterina Alexandrova in straight sets to extend her Grand Slam winning streak to 11 matches. Swiatek has reached the last 8 or better at all 4 majors in a season for the first time and is chasing her 7th Grand Slam overall. In men's singles, Alex de Minaur sealed a quarterfinal spot with an easy win over Swiss qualifier Leandro Riedi. Informed de Minaur will be looking for a change in fortune as he has never made it past the last 8th stage. He will face Felix Auger-Aliassime in the quarterfinals. From tennis to cricket, Australia's ace fast bowler Mitchell Starc has announced his retirement from T20Is in order to prioritise heavy test schedule from late next year and the 2027 ODI World Cup. Starc played 65 T20Is and was part of the Australia side that won 2021 T20 World Cup. Starc's overall 79 T20I wickets currently puts him as second best for Australia. In his farewell message, Starc stated that he enjoyed playing T20s for Australia, but Test cricket is his highest priority. From mid-2026, Australia faced a hectic run in Test cricket, including 3 away series, 1 home series, the one-off 150th anniversary match against England, and then an away Ashes in mid-2027. The ODI World Cup, which will be held in South Africa, Zimbabwe and Namibia, will start from October 2027. Now, Sri Lankan President Anura Kumara Dissanayake inaugurated construction of the Jaffna International Cricket Stadium at Mandai-Tivu Island, describing it as a landmark initiative to strengthen national unity through sport. The Jaffna International Cricket Stadium is to be built in 4 phases with a final capacity of 40,000 spectators and facilities for day-night matches. It will be Sri Lanka's 5th venue capable of hosting international matches. The ceremony was attended by ministers, provincial leaders, Sri Lanka cricket officials and school cricketers from Jaffna. The president said cricket has carried Sri Lanka's pride to the world and stressed that the game holds a unique power to bring people together beyond divisions. Now, 3-time European heavyweight champion boxer Joe Bugner, who fought Muhammad Ali in a world title bout, has died at the age of 75. The British Boxing Board of Control released a statement which said that the boxer passed away at his care home in Brisbane, Australia. Bugner's professional boxing career spanned 32 years and 83 bouts, of which he won 69, including 41 by knockout. He turned professional in 1967 and won the European, British and Commonwealth titles. He fought Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier in back-to-back fights in 1973. Bugner moved to Australia in 1980s and won the Australian heavyweight title in 1995 before retiring in 1999. Now, a giant 82.8-meter snake made of straw and bamboo wowed crowds in Sekawa village in Japan's Niigata during an annual August festival. Rebuilt after 8 years, the 2-ton serpent was carried by 500 people. The event honors a 1967 disaster. Locals cheered as the snake coiled dramatically at the finish. Indeed, a giant snake. That's all we have in this edition of DD India News Hour. But do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. And we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. From all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India News Hour.